fighting someone.
It's like a pop-up video.
Cool.
That's cool.
If you're doing a bright day, it just doesn't have the same thing. Like, why have a lightsaber and bright sunlight?
That's gotta be good for the demonstrations. Oh, it's so much fun. It's dark out. That's gonna draw attention.
I had a lightsaber fight with Julie in the dark at Brian's thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't know where, we could only see each other. We could only attack each other. We weren't following we tried to follow the rules, but we could only see each other by the glow of the lightsaber, so we didn't know what we were doing because we could barely see the other person.
Alright. So, when the doors actually unlock and we start on time, we're going to change the format up just slightly. After warm-ups, we're going to do some, I'm going to say calisthenics. But it's basically like going down and back and forth with lunges, with side lunges, with hops, jumps, just stuff. I'm not today because Aaron's door was locked. We started late. That's fine. I don't know. Someone texted me. Seriously, even if it's like 5 minutes before just time's supposed to start, just be like, hey, the door's locked.
I was about ready to look up, I was looking up the page and saw it open it on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, the MMA people couldn't get it.
Yeah, it was them. They convinced me. They were like, oh, we talked to the guy. He's on his way.
Well, the MMA guy can break down a door. That's their job.
I mean, it is a pull door, not a push door. Alright, so today I'm totally stealing one of the drills and games classes that I did at Dance Fight. Jon Mills did this class. It was partner drills, and it was about deception. We're not going to worry about the deception part, we're going to worry about the partner part, because it's going to without, going into every detail, it's going to help us work with another person, both in a non-cooperative situation, like sparring or sparring games or competitive drills, but also in cooperative drilling with a partner. But we're going to start with just getting used to moving our center balance. So swords off to the side. We'll get to the swords later. I promise, we'll get to swords later. And right now, just get a nice, even, open stance. I want your feet to be about shoulder width apart. And I want you to shift back and forth between your feet. A few times. I want you to get to the point where you can just lightly lift that foot up off the ground. Seeing somebody doing the wiggly wobblies, where you're letting your changing of your weight lift the foot off the ground for you. Not a bad thing, but it does mean that you now have inertia going in a certain direction.
That's what you should be doing?
So
Shifting.
I'd like you to shift back and forth and just be able to lift that foot off the ground. Yep. Bending at the knee rather than letting the hip cant and have that lift in the ground, the foot off the ground. All right, so now we have this feeling of having our moving now. We're going to put one foot forward, one foot back. And go ahead and pair up across the way with somebody. Doesn't really matter who. But after one foot forward, you'll put back. Coming back to be about like 30 40 degrees off. One. Make sure you can bend that knee. Go on down. Go. All right. We feel like. Wait. it's just going to be, whichever one's forward, you move forward and back at the same time as that. Are you guys intending on doing this left-handed? Dude, I am. It's not a bad thing. All right. Like, are you doing this right handed or
Switches up for it.
when you were at the extension, which hand you walk over? Going right hand forward, going switch feet, so that at the extension, the reference point. And then step back, so that it's going to be this opposite footed. When you're back, the other person's forward, left foot your way. All right. Bill, are you doing this left-handed or right-handed?
We're going, both hands.
We'll get to that. Which hand do you want to extend with?
Oh, no, either, both.
Which one do you want to extend with for this girl?
I guess, right hand.
Switch your feet.
Well, he's on.
No, this works. So switch your feet.
Okay.
So that left foot is back, is forward when you're back. So we step forward. You can extend with that right hand. All right, now we're going to change our distance slightly. Maybe a little bit closer. We're going to be at the distance so that when you're back and I'm forward and you're upright, I can just touch shoulder, hip, hip. Step back, you can step in. You should be able to do the same. Shoulder goes to your Yep. Cool. Now, we're going to do this mannequin style, dummy style, instead of tactically. So, we're going to continue stepping back and forward, and we're just going to touch. It's the slap game. We're not slapping, we're just touching the shoulder, touching the hip, touching the knee. So, go ahead, step back and step forward.
Where do we touch anywhere?
Just knee, hip, shoulder.
Maybe in no order.
Doesn't really matter what. You can do a cross reach. Yeah. Nice hit. All right, how's this feeling? Yeah. All right. I'm going to say Ryan, everybody else rotate one spot. What is your partner? Same girl.
Doesn't matter. Well, you. Oh, we're going back. Okay.
You have much more reach than I do. I can make a bigger lunge. Well, my arms are shorter, shorter than mine. Found that out. Yeah, there's a thing called the deep index. A lot of clients use it, and that's how I got introduced to it.
All right.
Fine.
Feel this? Getting this nice rhythm.
Right.
And you're working with a partner, so no stepping back, you're stepping forward. Typical walk, right? You want to add something to this? So I've made this touch. You're going to step in and you're going to go for my shoulder. Just a quick void. Just lean that shoulder back. Go for the hip. You can do a hip hinge, just slide those hips back. Go for the knee. This quick void. And it shouldn't be a, I had to change my entire weight in step, and now I'm stuck back in. No, it's just nice. don't void every attack. I only want you to avoid about 1 in 3. Somewhere between 1 and 4 and there we go. So that way we're still doing touch, we're still making sure we're in range. Occasionally, just do that stuff. Again, we're looking at what our partner's doing and starting to read. I'm going to do this for about 30 seconds just so I'm going to rotate partners again. Sound good? Cool.
You got it.
That's if you kind of corner this way.
I'm thinking of avoiding this
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's totally reset.
Oh,
Keep on going back and forth. Just make sure that you got that good distance.
Nice. You didn't even move. You're on your shoulder.
All right, rotate partners.
Same thing?
Same thing. Yep.
The goal is to be able to contact it. Not to throw your off.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm trying to like,
So
I'm going with my, this way.
Yep.
Yeah, keep kind of like going this way. Step back.
Yeah. Which isn't bad. You're really telegraphing.
Yeah.
Which can be good things. So later, I just want to make sure you know when you're telegraphing and when you're not.
Oh, yeah. Go wait, yeah, you get it over. Oh, man.
All right. Short break. How's this feeling?
Different.
I was watching his eyes the whole time.
So we're working with the partner. We're seeing how they're moving. We're getting into a rhythm.
The whole telegraphing thing really put it in perspective. If you telegraph too much, it's kind of missing the point.
Yeah.
It's about reading that.
Exactly. It's about reading your partner. It's about reading your opponent and being able to be read by them. You asked me over a month ago now about fates. Fates don't work. The other person can't tell what the hell you're doing. Fates don't work. The other person doesn't know what you're doing. Why?
Because you're trying to make them into an action. If
You are trying to lie to them.
You don't know what you're going to do, and they think you're going to do that second action.
Yep. be able to read your partner or your opponent. It's a requirement. You need to understand what they're doing. If I'm standing here in iron gate, what am I going to do? 5. I'm going to make a cover. 90% of the time, I'm making that cover. That last 10% of the time, that's what Frank's going to do. I'm here, I'm going to step in. I just do this short transition to middle iron gate, bring the tip up, walk in. All of a sudden, my cover, which you're expecting, has turned into a thrust, possibly in opposition, possibly behind your sword. But you need to know that when I'm here, I'm going to make that cover. Going to make that cover. And it's obvious. When I take this step, the sword's going to do this thing. That's what we're learning here. We're reading the other person, we're moving back and forth with them. We are creating a rhythm. And that rhythm allows us to do things. Morozo's assault. It's a rhythm. It's a bop, 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 back, 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 bop, 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 back, 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 back. Or maybe it's 3. Bop, bop, back, back, bop, bop, back, back, bop, bop. Here we're doing it very simple. It's dancing. Dancing is part of fighting. It's rhythm, it's movement. Working with a partner. Music, yeah. It's jazz. Don't worry, I'm not going to actually dance with another person. That's a different class. It is a good class. But we're starting to do that back and forth. Now we're going to need just a little more space. I want you to come here. Because I want you to do the same drill. I'm going to switch up partners in a moment. But this time, instead of back and forth, I'm going to start to rotate around. Are you going to hit every time? No. And that's fine. I don't expect you to.
Each time.
Slap each time. Do I expect you to miss each time? No. Because he needs to try to unpredictable. Kind of about 50-50. Being able to make contact versus not. Sometimes we want to let them hit. We want to let them do the thing. Because that allows us to create the rhythm. If every time Mike goes for this shoulder, just get out of the way, well, what's going to happen? Mike's going to start to set up. Go for the shoulder, go for the shoulder, go for the shoulder, go for the knee. That's starting to create that 1. 2. Oh, I got the thing. All right, cool. Let's do this one more time. And you get that fade. And it's going, oh, I know that this is going to get out of the way. And what happens is Mike just completely voids out of the way. Just takes another full step back. Oh, I got time to prepare for whatever Mike's going to do next, right? Same with sword fighting. You need to create those rhythms and opportunities and let them do something so that we have the opportunity to do the next thing. Yes?
I have a question. It might be a little tangent, so we can see it. How do we transition this to armor when we lose half of those caps? So if you're getting the face, you're getting body movements. And then as soon as you put on armor, you lose eye contact, you lose any facial cues, and all you have is body movements. You kind of lose half of those readings. What's the best way to transition this to
sparring in armor or sparring?
You're going again, it's just like a faceless
I was going to say, you can look at the chest and see the shoulders and everything.
That's part of it, but really? if I'm in a bind with somebody, our sorts have met, my visual processes drop off. Like I don't really see much. You can still faint with pressure. Here, for the shoulder, so we're here, and I can feel it here. I'm going to give you strong pressure here. What are you going to do? Actually, on the inside, maybe that. You felt that.
It's like a,
I'm not even looking at you. It's right here. It's going to go here. You can still faint.
okay. Less on visual, more on the weight, like the.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's still communicating.
It's a different sense. Like
It's a different sense, but it's still communicating. Like, we're using sight, obviously. We're using sound.
It's like learning to, like transitioning from being to wait.
Right.
Reading.
We're using our sense of touch, feeling. Apparently, if you look into the neurological studies, your sight has a reflex of like, I'm going to say a tenth of a second. You see something, it takes about a tenth of a second to react to it. Your sense of touch has about 2,000th of a second reaction time, something, or in 200ths, like a full factor quicker. So, and sometimes you'll react to things before you even notice it. All right, so quick break, get some water, and then we're going to do the moving offline.
You're waiting for that pressure to move, and then you go, okay, you look at the pressure when it bubbles, so I'm wondering, but you can also
Expect, yeah,
you can also think, like, I'm going to give you that, and then I'm going to carry it out. So
that makes sense. It's like if we're in a bind and I push too hard, I'm going to cut them down. So
it's that gets into the half sword.
okay.
Now, the arm, you might be using full arm, but it's one understanding comprising only full arms. The whole arm only lasts maybe 1 or 2 exchanges in place. Then you go, then you're to the next bottom. And so this is something like that. That's is in half sword where you're like here. Okay. So you can't see the sword.
All right.
But you have to feel it.
Grab me partner. Grab me the board again.
Somebody who worked it, I don't know if you go over mine.
Just grab me partner. I don't know if you work. Just somebody who hasn't worked with yet.
Yeah, if we're doing this properly,
Mike.
yeah, that should be here.
Yeah, I'll go to Mike. I work in.
Or with him.
Yeah.
I haven't worked with him.
Yeah.
I haven't worked with Mike yet. Mike.
Yeah, we just jump over.
Whatever.
The actual correct order would be, Mike would be where Jeff is, Jeff would be here, I would be there, I would be
You'd be here with me, because I was with Mike, I was the most. No,
You know, I was
no,
there, I was
there.
there.
Weird stuff. This is why when we change things up, because make sure everybody works with something different.
Straw lobster.
It doesn't really matter, just with your partner now. Again, have that back and forth, so.
Would we be able to use the?
Yeah, you can move throughout the entire area. Please do use the entire area.
That way we can have that circle. So.
I always, you go in.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that was right.
All right, I just want to try to stay still.
We do the same thing.
Because I had stepped in. Because we should be like this. Because we were just that, but you're right for that story.
I guess.
And you were able to touch me, right? You took a step back. Yes. Take a step back.
Go back to where you were.
No, back, half a step.
So, yeah, you're gonna step your left foot.
There.
Here.
Step back.
Here.
That's down, step back.
This circle is yeah, like that, yeah, so like,
Yeah, this is where we're supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Because we're supposed to make those passes.
Okay, I can step this far back.
You always take that passing step.
Okay.
That hasn't changed.
Okay, the defender.
That has not changed.
Okay.
So now you're gonna step in, and I'm gonna step back.
Is that what happened?
I mean, you don't have to if you need to.
Right.
we're working our way around the circle, right, Patrick? We're gonna try to
No,
work.
you don't have to work around the circle. I just want you to start moving off line.
I'm a little confused.
Yeah, that's it. Just take a step off.
Just a dance, just back and forth. Yes, we're stepping off line, but that doesn't mean we need to make so many extra steps. Because now you're getting into this, trying to do a triangle step. Yes, you are doing triangle steps. Because you just went, I'm attacking with the right hand, now I'm attacking with the left hand. You're adding at least an extra step. You got one step back. There you go.
No steps. It's like really complicated. All right.
So I'm doing it.
What you just said-
When you come after me, I should just.
I want to make sure that when I head down my left.
Whichever foot is forward,
Step off.
when I'm starting my attack, that was your attacking
Make
foot.
sure that.
So you have just switched to left-handed.
Oh, okay.
You know that.
No.
Whatever you do.
Or you're intending on doing
No,
that.
I was just letting it go.
Cool. Yep. That's it. It's a step.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you wanted.
A step forward, a step back.
Oh, I thought you wanted.
If I'm moving offline, it's just a step still.
Okay. All right.
There might be a small stutter step, or you over here, but it's still a step. And then after I go my attacks,
Right, but
I mean, we're trying to stand here. If you're trying to attack.
Cross one on the right side.
I mean, that one was going back,
all
so
right.
that was the one that's there.
You now step back again. Now step back from there. Step back again.
Well, it's good. It's good.
On, good.
Even I'll always hit you though. So let's do this without stepping off line, just like we were, right? I,
See how your hand lunge there?
Yeah.
there you go.
And now,
I step in, you step back.
I'll let myself way over there.
yep. And that's because you have to switch your feet.
Step back.
All right, quick time out here.
Attacking with the wrong side.
Bring it in.
That was hard.
That's right.
We've added stepping offline. Maybe we should go.
I think it's, if I'm attacking the right foot, then I'm back here, it's hard to step.
Well, you're doing it
That's
down
what
to the
it
advanced
says.
step, you're supposed to be doing past the step. So instead of just stepping forward, just.
Yeah. You can step offline and then step back. You can, and yeah, you can have a small stutter step, which I don't mind. And then step here.
And then step back.
And then step back.
You know, I was wrong initially because I thought we were supposed to be working around the circle. Doesn't work. We were like getting all messed up. It's like the stick. You go back.
And when you step back, you don't have to wait for them to attack. You step back, right? So if I'm going in a build, I'm stepping off line. I go, and then I just step back right away, right?
Yeah.
I don't wait.
And they'll follow you.
So the previous show.
They'll fall, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
we'll work together.
resets.
Like, all right, so I'm stepping back, you're gonna step in. You've made your attack. Cool. Now you're gonna retreat. And I'm just gonna follow in.
Yeah,
As you're moving back.
Okay, okay.
Now, I don't have to do it as you're moving.
I was waiting for the attack.
You can wait for them to settle back, and then, okay, now you're back. Now we'll go back.
Okay, so let's add in the stepping off the line here.
So I've done the attack, step back.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess we are kind of off the line.
Don't overcomplicate it.
No, yeah, we were.
Okay.
I can we're now 90 degrees from where we started.
Yeah, okay, maybe we're trying to step off too far, I don't know.
Yeah, we were taking all this next.
Let's use our wonderful compass right here. I'm going to use this one compass right here. What do we mean when we talk about stepping offline?
Well, when you step off the line, but not much, but,
This is stepping along the line. This is straight, step through. This is stepping offline. It's a difference of like 8, 10 inches from where my foot was. What a change to the geometry. This is stepping offline. It's not that much of a step offline, but it does give us that opportunity. 2 small steps. Work around. So, one of the things I don't like about this drill is that in the initial part of this drill, just going back and forth, what's our left leg doing? Well, besides
just
that,
taking anything.
the left foot is just staying there. But when we make a step back, if you go to my knee, I am off that foot enough that is separated. But my foot's always like that at the end of my stepping back. Like, at the end of this extension, that can come up slightly. So my weight's over here. It's not stuck here. We've obviously got that back and forth. Motion. So, if that foot is able to come up, why not set down slightly differently?
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you when we were originally doing this, because I couldn't remember at first, if you do, because when you cut, you always do the aggressor race step.
Yep.
But we weren't doing that.
We weren't doing it initially, no.
Actually, yeah.
Because I wanted to get that straight back and forth, working with
Yeah,
harder.
right, right.
Now we're going to add in that pressure. We're moving back and forth. And we're not wibbly wobbling this. We are taking discrete steps. You can add in an extra step there and switch which foot is forward. Maybe I want to attack the left next time, whatever. But that being able to lift your foot off the ground at either the extension or the retreat means that we can set it slightly off line. Just a few inches. Do you have any idea how much that messes with people? To be like 6 inches to the left of where they thought we were going to be? It's a lot! It also gives you some of the geometries that you're looking for. And it's going to change the way that you're able to sort by it. Because you're going to have more options and opportunities. If I'm fencing Bill, and Bill cuts it at me, and I Zwerch Hau wrathfully into his cut, where I wind up when I've Zorned can change the, I'm stabbing in the face, to, oh, I'm kind of over here, maybe I should do here, or use here. Or, pulling from your, we're bound at the tips. Oh, I'm way over here. I'm just going to drop the point and stab him in the face. Oh, we're over here, so I'm just going to do a quick turnaround and cut down that forearm. Because it's right there.
What's that called? You're going over?
No, it's not the Colby. This is just the first.
Not changeover.
Okay, it is a changeover.
Oh, it is? Oh,
Yeah. And the jargon system is called the Dark Axle.
The what?
Dark Axle, which is the change. D-U-R-C-H-W.
W-R-C-H.
Yep. through Dexel.
I said over the word,
So
so
the
that's why.
change through is not the same thing as the change over, is it?
Yeah,
It is.
Yes.
yep.
So it doesn't matter if it's under or over.
Doesn't really matter if it's under or over. You choose which direction based on where you are on the sword. And, sometimes change through is under, sometimes it's over.
Yeah.
You know the Germans, so I thought they had a name for everything.
You do, Dark Dexel.
Also, like 5 games for every.
Yeah, sorry. Fine.
It gets complicated, but you have a new partner. Try this again with that idea of that foot.
I was wrong before.
And move offline. That's what we're.
Do you want to back first? Wait, make sure we're in.
Okay.
Go back. Good one.
Yep. All right. Well, no, Zach and I are spinning around. We're getting busy here. How are the rest of you doing?
Better.
Better?
Yeah.
Are you feeling a little more fluid? Sort of, kind of, spirit.
Yeah, we ran up on the side.
Yeah. Twice, actually.
Yeah, I thought something happened here.
Oh, no, we did a full rotation, and it was like, what happens if we go the other
That's why
direction?
I actually tried to go like back the other way, and it was really weird. It screwed me up a little bit.
Yeah, I started to go, instead of rotating counterclockwise, I started to go clockwise, and then we just sort of kept on going to the left, left. But then again, we're both right-handed fencers, and with that extension to the right, it's a little easier to rotate slightly to the right each time. Doesn't have to. You can step through and move on to that line. It's really interesting. In this drill, we keep moving to the right, moving counterclockwise. In swords, I keep moving clockwise. Interesting. All right, so we're going to start including swords on this. Now, in Jon Mills' class, he had tubes that go palm. They're just golf tubes, golf club tubes, little plastic tubes that you can sort golf clubs in. And then palm. You don't need it here. I don't have those yet. So we're going to grab our sword, we're going to grab master gloves.
I tried those.
This is it.
Zach, now you have to get 2 lightsabers.
My,
So, unless you want to play with lightsabers at home, you don't need 2 lightsabers. I
He does. He has 2 8-years for that, one for himself, one for guests.
Oh, yeah,
Not for me, just for anybody. I just have to use them.
not 2 toolboxes.
No, if you had regular classes, like, you know, like do a church thing for that. We get general public, and then as a secret, you get them interested in
No,
sports.
I do like
Oh.
a good thing.
Trust me. There's a plan.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you thought of that, I'm sure. It's just, I'm just.
How about that?
That's here.
We'll talk about that in about 5 minutes.
I'm surprised more people don't show up in here. There's no sword class, no sword groups now in Harrisburg. The one in York is gone. The one in Southern York. Yeah. Like, they don't need anyone. I don't know what's going on with them. Like, we're the only one around.
The short version is, we're not really good at letting people know we're here and that this is the thing you can do. That is the thing about him in general. Letting people know that this is a thing you can do.
I never even heard of it. Like you said,
And another thing is, most of the time when I tell people who, I tell them I fence. I don't say emo because I don't feel like it's.
People don't know what emo is.
I know that. And when you say fencing to people, 99.9 of them think Olympic.
That's why I say historical fencing or historical sword.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Alex, you're offensive?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. That's not
You
a
just say you do Game of Thrones, you don't watch it.
What?
That is totally a tagline that has been used
You do Game of Thrones, you don't
all
watch
the
it.
time. All right, so master gloves. I'm wearing the nice and light gloves because we're not going super hard on this. Gotta use you like that.
Yeah, that's actually true, Bill. I've never watched it.
So,
But you watch it, I know that.
you're just gonna take your turns. One's going to attack. Something that is either going to end in a thrust of the mask or a cut shallow to the mask. You can do it on the side of the mask. And then you'll step back and you're going to do. And then start the pattern. Starts adding a little bit of back and forth, side to side.
That was what was that called? Forget that. Yeah, when you slide down, not too flaring.
It was kind of nuclear, it was kind of weird. I have to look at the actual term for that. But just, it's a plan. Now, in weeks past, we've done, winding back and forth a little bit. This is a little more freeform. Aim for the mask, be kind, be polite. You don't need to wail on anything. You don't need to cut through a guard. Give good structure. Sometimes get hit, sometimes don't. This isn't competition drilling. This is exploration. This is moving back and forth with a partner. Engaged in the sword, disengaged with the sword. Coming all the way back to Poseidon. Coming back to Finestra. Coming back to Breve, Flute. And trying to things and seeing what it feels like. How easy is it to move offline as we're doing these things? Explore it, have fun. We're going to do this for like 5-10 minutes and then we'll switch up partners. Definitely not 10 minutes, more like 3 or 4 minutes and then switch up partners. No, 3 or 4 minutes.
a lazy bird.
No, you're good.
Try to do something different. Shield back for you. Oh, we're trying to do it. You're taller than me. Let's get it real shield.
What, where you go where you're hitting?
No, there's a German thing where you just go. Wait,
Yeah,
you go
there's
full over.
actually one, I don't have a shield on my thing, there's actually one. You can see the bullet.
Oh, that's, I should have gotten that. I know. Look there.
Yeah, but I was having to come up, and I just literally just like slightly.
Yeah, I was like, if I was a little, yeah.
Trying to stop this center for
Nice. Oh, that was a wide open.
That's the helicopter thing.
Brian's always hating on that.
I know, we tried. Just tried it. You tried it?
When I first started sparring in chemo, I didn't, that's all I did.
Oh, okay.
I like kind of break the habit.
Yeah, but if I'm not watching that, I'm thinking, oh, I blocked it. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I bounced you around.
I mean, technically, we're talking about fainting. Technically, that's an ultimate feint.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm attacking the ear.
Yep.
Or that. Or something that's even better, we don't have gear on, but if you go around,
Yeah.
you come back and go low.
Oh, yeah, that's
All right, go trade partners!
I feel off.
And play. What's the make there?
Yep.
That's how we're responding. I pretty much that's what
I'm not saying it's a great thing, it's just fun to do.
I'm not practicing, but it doesn't work.
Until you use it too much.
Flat.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, we're kind of doing like a follow. That's been long, stop doing that.
Okay, good.
Wait a moment.
How many people show us burning right now?
That was kind of cheap.
Oh, that last one?
Yeah.
No, that was a double fake, that was good.
I don't have to think of that.
Up next. How are your shoulders feeling?
Okay. Yeah, fine. Yep. We haven't hit each other's shoulders.
How's my shoulder muscles burning?
I get more like ice.
That's we're constrained to just the max. How's this feel? Are you all having fun?
Got some workout.
I got to notice some weaknesses I need to work on.
All right.
Yeah, so.
I would say it was incredibly odd. I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get a good guy for class.
It's the game of
Is that
swords.
full speed sparring?
And I don't know what it is.
You are putting
I don't know what it is.
full speed sparring.
What's the thing?
I mean, that's.
Because it's like you're constraining yourself with speed.
I think.
Yeah, he's like.
And which foot I
You
have.
can hear a background.
Yeah.
So, we're working with another person. We're seeing how they're moving. And we're drilling with another person. Make sure that's correct. It is. Get a little bit of water, because we're going to finish up the class by adding to the toolbox. So, a little there are physical attributes. Speed, strength, proprioception.
Produce opacity.
Yeah.
Activity.
There.
Where did you get those from?
These are attributes that you have, and attributes that you can bring to swordplay. There are tactics, thinking, the exchange through, grappling, closing distance. And then there are techniques. Techniques are your toolbox. They are your hammers, your screwdrivers, your chisels, your spanners, the things that you have to be able to do things. Now, if all you have is a hammer, then every problem's a nail. And how do you deal with the frustrating nail? Hammer? Hit it harder. How do you deal with, yes, we're really a hammer. How do you deal with a screw as a hammer? You hit it harder. What if you had other tools in your toolbox? These are the things like knowing what to do. For boards to, doing this thrust, doing this thrust with a double, doing a thrust and cutting it down, doing a thrust with opposition, and then winding into the thrust, into a secondary thrust. The thing that I refer back to over and over again is Zwerch Hau, because it's dead simple, and it's first in the KDF tradition. But I'd like to give you more tools for your toolbox. So the tool that we're going to do today is the Zwerch Hau. I know, I'm an Italian going.
Yeah, last week.
How is it different from the Pendente? Is it?
The Zwerch Hau is closer to an Italian than that.
Yeah, that's what we were just doing.
That's
Yeah, I had Zwerch Hau. You say we're on Zwerch Hau.
No, we're doing the Zwerch Hau.
Oh, Zwerch
Oh,
Hau.
I know, but I do have a question.
I thought you said Zorn.
Okay.
So in, at least in Meyer, he shows his starting position so exaggerated.
Yep.
Is that how you actually deal with that, right?
Oh, you can.
Well, I'm sure, no, I know you can, but why would you?
When you have a crowd watching.
You're creating a trap. So, that is a complicated question. Why would I start all the way back here? Well,
You're invited to an invitation.
I'm inviting you to attack. You gotta do something, right?
That's what it is too. But,
It's also infuriating.
oh, yeah.
This is one of the most you done.
Oh, you already got that.
What is this? Raid. You're talking about the raid?
Yes.
That's a raid.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be done.
That's like a raid card.
In Meyer, they describe this as Zorn Put. The place that you do the rock and strike from. So this is Zorn Put, or post you done, whether you're in a reverse position or an open position, doesn't really matter. Hey guys. If you come for free, you got left, you come out left and right back. Got it. Cool. How good they got?
And I also want to ask you about, remember we were supposed to do the homework thing a couple days ago? I actually don't think I came that Saturday, but something that's from Meyer is called sliding. And if you start in the Zorn, you go like this.
Yep.
So you would have to start from back here though, I think, because if you were here, it would make no sense, or it would make no sense to go like that, or like that. But if you're in Zorn, it calls it sliding where you defend it. I just think that's really cool. And then he says, I don't remember if he says to do with your feet, but he says, then do whatever seems proper to you. And it's like one of the only times he ever says that, so I thought it was a really good opportunity to do something for the homework class, for the homework thing. So you like slide and then go with his word on the other side or something.
Oh yeah.
That's the harder to do when you have a mask on.
It's not that much harder to do, you just have to clear your head.
I'm always kidding.
So yeah, no, was there a question there or just observations? Observation.
I mean, well, if you were, so if you weren't in Jordan, let's say you were, because in my mind, what would we call him? You already supposed to be down.
Supposed to know.
Right, if you were supposed to be down here, and you weren't deep, or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, there's no sense in doing it from here, that's right, like, that's just.
Wow.
This is a cover into Nestra. Now I probably step back when doing this so that, you know, it was on fine. But yeah, you can totally do that.
I was just thinking if I was using it, if I was crossing over for a defensive maneuver, I would think, I would hold it.
So go ahead and cover me slowly. Right there.
You gotta have some balls to do that, like, man.
You gotta have some balls to be in an actual fight.
Well, no, I mean, even sparring. Like, I don't know.
No one expects you to do that.
If you do it from
I
a
do.
proper
Pretty cool,
distance,
man.
do it from a proper distance, and encourage people to attack from a range that means that they want to interact with the sword, it's a lot safer. But that also gets into the entire idea that distance and proper use of measure is a safety measure. One more way you get to make the other person do something without being this close,
Mhm.
the safer you're going to be. The more you can do, the more slight misses in timing aren't going to be devastating. Now, talking about attributes, single time counters are totally a thing, totally something you can do, and you can turn your technique into a single time counter just by getting a little bit closer, but you're going to lose that measure of safety. And technique that we're going to do today is work out. I'm going to go canonical and sport fencing with this. First, canonical. If you are at a distance that you're going to start, you're going to cut at me, I can either wait for the attack to start and cut into opposition to make this cover. Or, as they're approaching me, I can start the attack and force them to do something. Now, we'll go into the follows that. First thing, take your sword at your right shoulder. And we're going to do this in your sparring gloves. I don't care about the mask right now, but I want you to wear gloves and you use your sparring. There's a reason for this. First off, specialties aren't that different from historical gauntlets. The Bisbees aren't that different from historical gauntlets. I'm lazy and wearing my gloves. I need to protect my hands. By the way, just as a general thing, because I know that this is how I always respond to this. If you say to me, I keep getting hit in the hands, how do I keep from getting hit in the hands? Well, maybe don't put your hands there. Go to your response. Because maybe don't put your hands there. That's all. It ain't perfect, that's why it's not all. Take the sword at your right shoulder. We're going to do two lines. I'm like, allow two people facing this way, allow two people facing this way. You don't need to be facing a person, but I just want to be able to have that side-to-side space. And your circles aren't that great. Sword at the right shoulder. The thumb that's closer to your cross. Like to come up to that cross just a little bit and put a little bit of pressure on the quillion that's towards people. Because what you want to do is you want to turn that quillion away to flatten the sword. Now, you can do this as part of the motion, or you can prepare for the motion by just flattening the sword against the
Oh,
shoulder
yeah,
like that.
that's what I'm doing.
And I'm going to show you right now. I would much rather just flatten the sword against my shoulder because there are other tools from the toolbox that can set you up in the same position. So whenever it's like, you flatten the sword against your shoulder, they know what you're going to do. Yeah, you got 4 options. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least.
Not to mention, I can actually be flat against my shoulder and not really be in thumb grip.
Yeah.
And they really have to be paying attention to.
And you can just
Yeah.
throw left.
Yeah, yep.
Right
I know
there.
you're right up to.
Yeah, throw them up to all sorts of things. So flat it against your shoulder, you can have your thumb there. And to protect your hand, give yourself about a finger's width from across for your fingers. So you're not up against here. I've seen people get their hands stabbed through the rings.
Oh, I know.
I've seen people get their thumbs up through the rings. I don't trust it.
You're probably together in a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
The action, according to Danzig, is to leap or leap greatly out to the right. So, person is across from you, the other foot starts forward, I'm going to come out. Using this as a guide, I step to fully on the next one. And then I throw a lateral cut. There's no Zwerch Hau, or the Zwerch Hau, or the lateral Hau, as some people translate it. But it's coming out here and making a cut. Now, a couple things to note. If you are super straining your wrists, relax. It shouldn't be a super strain. Your arms should be straight. As if you were just here on the left side.
Where would the blade be at? Face?
On your
shoulder?
left side. The text says to aim for the ear or the mouth. But it also has caveats later that you can aim lower.
I guess we're not crossing. It's not right.
You do not cross your center line.
I mean, the blade tip is across.
No, blade tips not cross center line. So, when I make this step, I want to end here. This is what I consider a proper Zwerch Hau. I can't quite hit you without doing something, without taking a step. And frankly, if I'm here, what are you going to do? You're going to cut into my sword. Perfect. Basically exactly what I wanted to do. Where am I in relation to Mike's sword?
His strong one would be.
And my sword? Where is my sword in relation to myself and Mike's
Your
sword?
weight is on
It's
this.
between, well, it's between you and.
It's between me and his sword.
Right.
So this is going to keep me safe. Even if Mike takes a step, pushes in,
I just work the other side.
I have options. Something's going to happen.
Work out.
So, yes.
I know you personally taking a crash on it. When you do a crash show, as you work on it, you just you should do a pass a second. Should I ask, is it beneficial to do a crash show side as well?
I might take a middle turn step. So I'll step across my center line to prepare myself for that. So that looks like on the compass is I'll step here to wind that up.
So you're going to want
So I get a little bit more offline. And it's going to set me up for the things I can do afterwards. You know, I like that idea. I think that's going to help us to make sure we're not resting on that front foot the entire time. I'd like to start in an open stance, do a small step that crosses and around the body, and then step around.
When you finish, where should our hips be? I know a lot of, we're used to a lot of keep your hips facing forward. Is that, are we going to be
I mean, my hips wind up facing
offset, like off on?
towards the person I'm fencing.
Or keep them as close to the neck in their direction?
So, I actually get to the proper distance. Right? When I'm here, my hips are fairly open. Now, my feet are pointing this way.
Yeah.
But my hips are fairly open towards the mic.
Okay, so you want, so kind of something wrong. This way, fully this way. That should be.
So,
You kind of turn your hips towards it.
yeah.
My hips are regardless cut.
Yeah, that's I wanted to bring the hips up. Because I feel like that's something like,
Yeah, hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie.
yeah. You can really push power into it.
Hips and shoulders are fairly connected. When we have good posture, when our shoulder blades are flat against our back, and we're relaxed in what we're doing, the turning of the hips will turn the shoulders. Turning the hips, turning the shoulders will launch this attack. This is a strong attack. Do not wail on people with it, especially when you get good structure behind this. You will concuss somebody, it's going to hit the temple,
Yeah.
through here. Still not pleasant. But, yeah, you have that. And that step cross is actually going to accentuate that the hips have to move. I like having my arms extended here because it's going to allow me to do follow stuff. So, hit this a couple more times, just get comfortable with this motion.
You were talking about fanning before. This is something that
What?
you talked about fanning before. This might match. You're just kind of go with what they doing.
No, it's not that.
I mean, you get what's on your shoulder. You're just kind of. They might not know you're getting ready.
I mean,
When you're not
anywhere
not
that
like.
yeah, but that's
you're
just terrible posture.
okay.
Let your shoulder blades go back. And try to connect the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. That is good posture. You should be able to make a step like that without hunching forward. You're hunching forward. You're going to be in a horrible position. We'll do that next week. Why that's such a bad idea.
Oh, no, I was saying that. I thought like if you're going out, maybe.
I think you would try to figure it out.
You're like, get away and you want to just turn.
You should always be
I guess
relaxed.
it's not close to our person. Because, and you should know this, that's the ball, like, I like to think of it as hitting rough. Push.
So, I'm going to give you the follow-ups now. Now, in the Luxembourg, KDF, Ardell manuscripts, immediately after describing the action that you're supposed to do, they talk about counters. Really, it's kind of weird, but it does make sense because the follow-up actions that you're supposed to do are kind of straightforward. Put up your mask, please. All right. So I have cut this workout. You've done enough. You've come to the first and most obvious thing that you can do is with another step, come around to the other side. Everybody does that. It's called this workout there. We'll get to that later. The other things you can do is if that's weak, you can turn into it, and thrust. If Jeff steps into it with a weak counter trap, so you're stepping in, you can end with a cut to the side of the head or the side of the mouth. This is why, even when you're feinting, you need to actually do the thing. Because if they're weak, you can just make the cut. So say Jeff is strong, I'm going to bring the finger, because I can redouble, turn the blade over. Or, as also works from here, keeping the blade flat, coming up to here, from here. I know it sounds no, I'm literally saying in the same. Let's jump start. I make this cut. I'm strong. I'm coming out here and in, and just bring it back in. Looking directly at the text, that is how the redoubling is described. The other way is turn it over as you're coming up the blade to redouble the attack. And I just need my thumb here to keep it safe. But now, if Jeff pushes in, it's just going to come inside of his head over the attack. Staying behind my cross. And even if Jeff really pushes me in, it's just going to, let me turn that into a counter thrust. Dozens of questions, right? Right now, we're going to just give you a single tool for your toolbox, and that's going to be make this cut, and then step there, even, square, and cut around to the other side. Not bad.
So that's correct. I was
Square is
like,
correct, but you step it back with your front foot and not forward with the left foot.
wait, wait, wait.
So that's like,
So, or bop, bop. So it's stepping square forward. Then you bring it up back. Other side. So start with the open.
Oh, okay, so,
One. Now bring your left foot forward.
okay,
That foot here.
and cut.
And then turn around. Yep. To the other side. That's this side first. I know, right? Don't bring your sword. So far behind here.
Yeah, it's like a simple part.
Anyway. I like to bring it a little farther forward. You're landing back up here, around by going this way.
Yeah, like I was saying, Bill, like when I first started sparring,
There you go. Good. So I'd like to be able to hit a little bit farther, a little deeper. The goal is.
that's cool, especially if you set up there,
Yeah, exactly.
you go in sort of.
I'd like to get back. Just out of
Technically, that's a change to it, right?
So maybe it was here.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to like,
So here,
go under that,
here,
drop it to.
and then you think you step over the carry here, and I just do something else.
You're gonna have to, like, you're gonna have to do the
Right there.
got one side of the spanner for the toolbox now. Got a hammer and a spanner. We'll have one next week.
A hammer and what?
Spanner.
What's that?
It's not glass removal.
No, wrench. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
Spanish.
spanner, it's British. English, or Austrian. It's not American, except it is American because if you work in a machine shop, they're called spanners.
It's like how it's science you use metrics.
Yeah. Well, also because a wrench is a different thing. Wrenches are clearly adjustable. You got that?
Yeah.
Camera lenses use this. To get the lens out, there's little dots, you adjust your thing for that.
But
They're weird.
more weird. All right, so you now have another tool in your toolbox. There are more ways to use this tool, but for right now, we got tightening and untightening a bolt. Cut, follow the stem, cut around to the other side. Or they step into it and you just whack them on the side of the head. Giving you this tool because next week we can use this tool during our warm-up calisthenic portion. I have little targets, punching gloves. Go, all right, stab it. Yeah, so you can stab or cut to the side or cut down, based on how it's done.
I think we used that before, we used the plastic swords, we were going back.
Yeah.
That's the one. Brian did like that Kendo.
Yeah, that was something that was really.
I actually like that.
I like that. I like using the pads because it's a smaller target and you can't take it the other way.
I think we
It doesn't
used
have
that
nice pads.
four people can do it in one.
Well, yeah, and the thing, we did the thing where we were backing up, remember that? That was forward.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. This isn't that drill. Another tool in the toolbox. Another tool in the toolbox. Another way we can warm up. Another way we can move our bodies.
The thing that I haven't seen Gabriel in.
I've been at least 2 months since I've seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while, but Paul was, I always felt like he needed it around where we practiced the snap of coming in and probably hitting him because he never got out of the phase of being afraid to hit you, sparring,
Yeah.
he would be afraid to hit.
I didn't get to work with that on that. We did it better.
You start having to hate people here more and more.
No, there's no hate.
We got a sneak peek in the middle of that guy. I see you just take
There's
it
a
off.
big enough people.
All right, it is 1 o'clock. We're going to end the main class here. Before we end, are there any questions about anything we went over today?
Next week, maybe can we do this change through drills? You demonstrated it here. because-
So, how about this, Patrick?
What do you think?
That is one of the things you can do. We're working on that. Can you do that?
And the space out the middle of the speaker.
Got it. Anyway, no, I already have plans for next week.
Here, class.
Next week. I have plans for next week.
Oh, for class.
He's losing his hands.
I thought you had plans like you're not coming.
No, I have lesson plans. I know what I'm doing next week. Mostly. No, it's gonna be a lot of line work, and it does involve a little bit of change throughs. Because posture and relaxing and change throughs are all part of line work and using swordsman swords. So, yeah, I'm gonna do some paperwork. Makes sense. Any other questions about the class that we did done today?
Well, they have it.
Posted in the Discord. I was wrong. Did y'all learn something? We all have fun. All right, well, thank you for class. Let's have a paddle to salute out.
I see when you said all this word about shirts.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Cool.
Oh, wait, I didn't read.
Yeah, just let us know what direction that is. You might have to turn the notifications off, or you might be logged in on your computer. And if you're logged in on a computer and your phone, the computer gets the notifications and phone's not.
Yeah, how do I do my computer? I set up notifications for the call.
We'll figure it out. Anyway, so the one